You'll spread them round if the jewellery touches anything. They may also stop you washing your hands and wrists properly. If you do have a special ring that you never take off, just wear a glove when you need to touch food directly. Also, keep your fingernails short and don't wear nail polish. If you must wear nail polish, then wear gloves. Really, it's all just common sense. That's it for the fashion tips, but I think Della has some health advice for us all.
Sure have. So how are you feeling today? Pretty well, I hope. If you think about it, our personal health is a pretty important part of hygiene. If you're feeling a bit under the weather, there's not much I can do about it. But I can tell you how not to share it with the rest of the school. If you have a bit of the flu or a tummy upset, it's best to stay home. Also, if there's a chance you might have contaminated any food, for example, by sneezing or coughing over it, you must let your canteen manager know. And you must let your canteen manager know about any skin conditions, especially open cuts, weeping sores or flaking skin. They can put you at risk of contaminating the food. Some skin conditions can be worked around by wearing gloves or doing things that don't risk contaminating food. Cuts and scratches can be covered with a waterproof Band-Aid. Use brightly coloured ones. They're easy to find if they go missing. And cover the Band-Aid with a glove if you're handling food directly. Well, that's that bit out of the way. Now it's up to James to clean up our act.
Ever noticed how doctors wash their hands at the drop of a hat? The reason is our hands collect bacteria from everything we touch and carry and spread bacteria to, well, everything we touch and carry. As part of the food safety standard, each canteen must have a basin that's only used for hand washing and not for any other purpose. The basin should have a tap with a single spout with warm running water. Warm water makes the soap work better. The basin should also have soap and a single-use paper towel dispenser or something similar. Don't use a shared cloth towel or your apron. They really are a great way to spread germs. Now, there's a bit of a technique to doing a good thorough hand wash. I learnt it in medical school. Okay, so it's in the handbook. You can't get away with anything around here. First, wet your hands under warm running water. Apply soap to your hands. Rub thoroughly, including your wrists and between your fingers. And don't forget your thumbs. As Irene mentioned, you can't wash properly if you're dripping with jewellery. Rinse your hands in clean water. And finally, thoroughly dry your hands on a single-use towel. You should always wash your hands in this way before handling food. And, of course, you must wash your hands after using the toilet, coughing or sneezing, handling rubbish, cleaning or doing anything that could contaminate your hands. Remember,
Germs are everywhere.
Exactly. Now, some people use disposable gloves. That's fine, but you must change them as often as you would wash your hands. Remembering all this? Well, don't worry if you're not. It's all in the handbook, and you can always ask the canteen manager.
The great thing about these standards is that they really are just common sense. Check the food as it comes in, cook it thoroughly, store it properly by keeping hot foods hot and cold foods cold, keep it covered, and don't bring out food until you need it. Also, just follow a few simple precautions like dress appropriately, wash your hands regularly, and avoid touching food with your hands. Okay, it's almost lunchtime, so down your tools and let's hit the windows. Almost there, just the clean up to go. Keeping the canteen as clean and germ-free as possible is important. A simple cleaning routine each day will make sure that there's no happy breeding ground for bacteria to grow in. I really recommend putting together a cleaning chart. It lists what to clean, when to do it, how to do it, and most importantly,
who has to do it.
With one of these, everyone can be confident that all areas are being cleaned regularly, and more importantly, that no job is missed. James, can you do the washing up? And Della, can you tackle the floors? And I'll do the benches.
No worries.
Throw away chipped crockery. It can't be easily cleaned. And dispose of rubbish hygienically.
Also, throw out any unsold food. You know what we say, if in doubt, throw it out.
Don't let waste accumulate. It attracts pests like cockroaches, and we don't want those in the kitchen. Keep equipment, floors, walls and ceilings free from visible grease and dirt.
Keep counters, benches and any items that come in contact with food cleaned and sanitised. To do this, just follow these 4 simple steps.
Step 1. Prepare. Remove loose dirt and food particles. Step 2. Clean. Wash with hot water and detergent. Then wipe over or rinse with clean water. Step 3. Sanitise. Apply a chemical sanitizer as directed on the label, or place items into very hot water for about a minute. Step 4. Air dry. Leave the benches, counters and equipment to air dry. Put things away as soon as they're dry.
Oh, by the way, if you need to use something in a hurry, just dry with paper towels. So, what's the difference between cleaning and sanitising? Detergents are for cleaning. They remove dirt and grease, but they do not kill bacteria. Sanitisers, also known as disinfectants, do kill bacteria, but they don't remove grease. So you're going to need to use both and in the right order. No, you're not going to save time by mixing detergents and sanitisers together. It just doesn't work. You need to remove the dirt with the detergent before the sanitizer can get to the bacteria hiding underneath. Always read the directions on sanitisers carefully. Some sanitisers are toxic and need to be rinsed off. Others are non-toxic and don't need to be rinsed off. Finally, it's worth just taking a look around to make sure that everything is in order.
Check that fly screens are intact, the lights are working, and that the fridge doors are sealing properly.
Well, that's about it. Right now, this may all seem a bit much, but people who have made the changes really think they're great.
I think these new standards have been a long time in coming. It's very important for people to realise that canteens are part of the food industry and they should apply to us.
When we were drawing up our school canteen policy, we took the standards into consideration. We did a survey and we looked at the students, the staff, our own staff and the wider school community, and then incorporated the standards into our policy.
I was pleased that I was able to have something that I would follow and I knew was in place.
No, they were actually very easy to put in place. I was quite impressed that a lot of my helpers actually took a lot of the things they learnt home to their own kitchens.
You know, being a wife and a mother at home, you sort of got to have a certain amount of hygiene as well for the kids. No, there was nothing difficult at all. We've been wearing our hats and aprons for years, everything else we've been doing.
So of course when the volunteers are coming into the canteen for the first time, they can see that we're appropriately dressed, so they follow our standard as well.
No, although our premises are very old, all my helpers do the right thing and work hygienically, so we haven't had a problem.
It was never really a problem. We haven't frightened anybody off yet.
Well, that's definitely it from us.
As we said at the beginning of this video, safe food handling is simple and straightforward.
But it is very important because it's all to do with something that we care a great deal about, the safety of our kids.
See you later.